Sorry I kept you waiting forever and a day, but now we're out here together with nothing standing in our way. Can you feel the attraction? Feel the attraction. Can you feel it between us? This energy's inside us like electricity. Feel the love running through like electricity. Feel the love running through like electricity. Like electricity. Taking over your body, it's flowing through your mind. This feeling's got me on fire. Don't ever leave it all behind. Can you feel the attraction? Feel the attraction. Can you feel it between us? This energy's inside us like electricity. Feel the love running through like electricity. Feel the love. Can you feel me?
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
I fell and lost to the war, shot me dead. I was lost and sad to the voices in my head. I gotta get up again. I gotta get up to another day. I'm not giving up again. I gotta get up. I gotta get up. I gotta get up again. I gotta get up to another day. I'm not giving up again. I gotta get up. I gotta get up. I'm gonna get up Look into my eyes. My heart beats like a drum. You listen to my lies. Love is far to come. Your love is far. Running at the speed of light, kissing under city lights. Calls me in this morning time, but it just goes on. Running at the speed of light, kissing under city lights. Calls me in this morning time, but it just goes on. Gotta get up again. I gotta get up to another day. I'm not giving up again. I gotta get up. I gotta get up. I gotta get gonna get up
What is going on, traders? Welcome. Today's trader interview, trader spotlight interview. Okay. Today we have two mods from Blackbox stocks coming on today. Okay, let me pull up the tweet for you guys so I can show you right here. Okay, we've got Swan, 7-star Mike, and they're going to show us and walk us through Blackbox stocks and how to use it. Are we excited? Welcome, welcome. Everybody, please take your seat. Get ready. We're about to drop some huge knowledge. Okay, how are we doing today, everyone? How are we? Who do we have in chat today? We've got Jay Licious. We've got Trev. We've got Leo, Big Cap'n. Welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for the resubs today. Okay, I'll take those. Dang, okay. Thank you, Jay Licious, for the 7 months. You are legendary. I truly appreciate it. And thank you, Trev. I truly appreciate the 3 months as well. All right. I'm going to get them on the call. They're just DMing me right now. Alrighty. Without any further ado, let me jump over to intermission for a sec. Pull up these nice little pictures here. We've got a swan, a praying mantis, and a black box. What happens when they get together? We bank. Okay. So without any further ado, let's get them on the call. All right, I'm just going to pull it up here. Just let them finish sending this message. Okay, we are good. Let's get into it, all right? Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Hey, Swan, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome.
Good, I'm doing well.
Awesome, awesome. And we got Mike with us as well. Can you hear us, Mike? I see him there. So I think he can probably hear us.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound good. Perfect.
Awesome.
Awesome. Good to have you guys. I just want to start by saying thank you guys so much for agreeing to come on the show. It truly means a lot. I just started using Blackbox somewhat recently, and I've been attending Swan's live sessions for maybe like 3, maybe 4 weeks now. So thank you, Swan. Those have been huge. Lots of education in there that you guys are just giving away. So I truly appreciate that. And you're a great speaker, man. It's a really good show that you put on there.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I enjoy it. Appreciate your time coming over and hanging out with us those mornings. We'll do it again tomorrow morning, as usual.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I will be there for sure. Thank you guys for coming on. I just want to start by basically how I typically start these things is we just kind of dive into a little bit of your trading history. You guys can take turns. You don't have to make it too long-winded because we'll get into some trading stuff and Blackbox itself. But how did you find trading, and when did you stumble upon Blackbox and options?
Go ahead, Mike.
All right. So I was a retail manager for years and was just getting burnt out on it. And I was always in the stock market as an investor. And when I was getting kind of burnt out on retail, I was kind of thinking, what would the next phase of my life be? And I had a group of friends that was doing some shorter term trading as well as the longer term investing. And for me, it kind of became one of those things that it was just fun to do, but I didn't have time to do it. So I was doing investing because I had a full retail schedule. And on my days off, I would do the shorter term trading and figured, you know what? This is going to be the next phase of life for me. So there was a point where I just had enough of retail and said, that's it. I'm going to make a go at it, full-time trading. My dad was into investing for forever, still is. So that's how I got introduced to the stock market. And then when I got burnt out on retail is when I really just dug in and took it serious to make it a full-time endeavor. I actually got lucky finding Blackbox about the time when I started trading options is when I found Blackbox. And I don't normally sign up for any groups. Like I just don't do the subscription thing. I don't join groups to find information. And for some reason they just kept hitting, and at the time it was StockTwits.
Right.
And I hate StockTwits. I like it for one reason, but I hate it for the negativity that's on there. So I'm usually not on there. Okay. And for some reason, I just kept seeing this name, Blackbox. And one day I'm like, what the hell is this? Sure. And I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to try it. And that's I've had two subscriptions in my life. One of them was Investors Business Daily, and I was with them for like 3 months before I just decided it didn't really help me out. And Blackbox was the second one. And I've been with Blackbox since the day I joined. No reason to look elsewhere. Never decided to quit. Never had a reason to. Most of what I've learned from options came from these guys, either directly or indirectly.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's awesome, man. What about yourself, Swan?
So yeah, I come from the corporate world. I had owned several businesses, worked for some bigger corporations, and one day decided to see what this trade thing was about. And I was new to trading, didn't know much about it, didn't know what VWAP was, didn't know what an EMA was. This was probably, let me think here, 5 years ago. And so I started looking for some answers. I traded on my own for a while and failed miserably. Hit some huge home runs and thought, well, this is easy. Anybody can do this.
Right.
Blew up an account, put some more capital back in, blew up that account. Realizing, okay, I needed some help. My self-training was not working. So I started looking around. I as well found Blackbox Stocks. It was the first paid service that I came to. And they taught me pretty much everything I know about trading. I first started off trading commons. We have a couple moderators that deal just with commons. I started off in their room, and I remember this day asking what VWAP was, and them kind of taking a step back and saying, "Okay, you need some hand-holding, obviously, if you're that new to trading." And they were able to give me that. They took care of me, and I respected that. Because of that, I became very loyal to that company, to Blackbox Stocks. And eventually I wanted to learn more about the option side. At the time, Blackbox was just getting into the option side. So I started seeing these crazy gains that these guys were posting. I was like, holy moly, I got to figure out what this is about. And so I jumped over. I remember sending a direct message to Options Mafia, or Charlie as we know him. And he responded right back to me. He's like, yeah, come hang out with us. We'll teach you options. And I was like, wow, cool. And that's exactly what they did. And here we are, fast forward a few years, and now I'm a moderator for them and instructor for them and loving life. So I really pretty much owe all of my trading skills to them. I am a black box baby.
I love that. That's an awesome story, man. It sounds like you really hustled to get where you are, and the Blackbox community is just so they'll just take you on and super caring. And I've kind of found the same thing. And I actually linked up with Blackbox Stocks, similar to you, through Options Mafia as well. I suggest you guys check him out on Twitter. Once again, chat, if you guys have any questions, just at 100 million in chat as we go along here. Swan and Mike, you won't be able to see chat unless you pull up Twitch, but that's okay because I'll read the questions out as they come. Let's get into a little bit about your specific strategy. So are you guys more swing trading or day trading options, or a mix of both?
Yeah, I'm a mix of both. And I'll let Mike talk. He's more into the flow than I am. He's on his screen all day long watching it, where I am not. But okay. I do both. When we see that, flow has let me rephrase this. Flow has a personality. All right. And there's certain weeks where the personality is just not there. There's no love. The flow coming in is just money's not, big money's not putting money to work. And in those situations, if you have swings going, it can be a little bit tough because you may see some red in the account. So I do swing the flow trades that we put out. But in the interim, if we have rough days or if we have red days, I will be scalping, day trading off of technicals. I put out that watch list every day. Things like that kind of help ease some of the pain of the red trades that are unrealized, because a lot of times those will turn green eventually for us. But in the interim, I do scalp some.
Got you. Okay, very good, very good. And yourself, Mike?
For me, it's kind of the same thing. It depends on the market conditions. So when I first started trading, I was doing pretty much 100% day trading. And then I started swinging and finding some good results with that. And then there was a period where the swing trades would be up 60% one day and the next day down 40%. And I just got tired of seeing that. So when the market conditions changed, I went back to basically day trading and scalping. And then as I started getting involved more and more with the flow, I started doing the statistics on the alerts that we put out. And we've got some algo generated alerts, and then we've got some that we just handpick because it just has the right look to it. And I started really focusing on those ones that it just has the right look for what I'm trying to follow. And statistically, they have a much better profitability if you hold them longer than one day. So actually, just last month, I opened a new account, smaller account designed specifically for swinging only. Not that I won't scalp in it, but that account is kind of just for swing trades. So when we don't see, like Swan said, when we don't see the right type of flow we're looking for, I will scalp and day trade all day long. And then when the right flow comes along, no questions asked, I'm in that for a swing, and I'll let that play out according to the charts or according to just too many open positions. I'm going to close a few, whatever the case is. So for me, it's kind of dependent on the market conditions whether I'm going to swing or scalp, but I will do both.
Gotcha. Okay. No, that sounds good. Makes a lot of sense. Now, I would love it if, I'm not sure if you guys are at your PC or not, but if you are and you're able to screen share Blackbox and kind of give us a rundown of it and kind of what you're looking for on there, that would be really, really cool. Are you guys able to do that right now?
I am in front of the screen. If you can point out how to get the screen share going, I'll definitely pull up Blackbox for you.
Yeah, so if you just look where our little icons are, up in the call, that little screen with the arrow, click that, and then just select the window with Blackbox, and it should pop up for us. That would be awesome. Beautiful. You're live. You're good.
All right. So basically, the way Blackbox works is there's an algorithm searching the exchanges for all the trades that are taking place. Now, we don't care about someone trading 5 contracts of Apple or 3 contracts of Google, because those people, they may be amazing with Apple or Google, but those aren't the ones we're really trying to follow into a trade. We want to follow the people that either have inside information that you and I don't have access to, or they've got a research team that might be getting paid millions of dollars a year to find certain information that, again, you and I just can't do that as retail traders. So we're looking to find certain patterns in the flow. So there's an algorithm that searches the exchange for all the trades taking place, and then the ones that meet certain criteria are going to show up in this portion of Blackbox right here. Now, what I'm doing is throughout the day, since the market is closed, it's not going to move, so I'll manually scroll through it. This is what it looks like throughout the day. It's just a ton of information coming across the screen. And there's something like this, where this is a $10,000 trade. We just have zero interest in that whatsoever. There's something like this, a $142,000 trade, zero interest in that whatsoever. So what I'm doing is watching this information scroll through live, and what I'm looking for is a certain pattern with how the big money opens their positions. If you've been on Swan's screen shares, I'm sure he uses the same terms, size, time, and urgency. So what we're really doing is watching all this flow information come through live, and when we see the big funds open and aggressively open a position, where there's a lot of size to it, it has time to work out, and they're urgently opening it. In other words, they're doing above the ask sweeps where they don't care what price they fill at, they just can't wait to get that exposure. They can't wait to get that money into the market. That's the type of stuff we want to follow. So what Blackbox is doing is basically scanning the exchanges for all the trades that meet some criteria, and then what I'm doing is watching this part here for even more strict criteria and a certain pattern. And what we have found when that certain pattern comes through on the live flow here, we just have a very high probability of success. And as a full-time trader, I don't want to put money out there and hope it comes back with more. When I put money out there, this is what I do for a living. I need to know there's a really good chance it's going to come back with more. And when we stick to the right pattern for flow, as far as the trades that we're going to follow from the flow directly, it's just an incredibly high success rate where no system is going to give you 100%, where every trade you take is going to be a winner. It's just, you can't find that. We're humans, we make errors. We will make errors following flow. But out of 100 trades, we're going to make errors maybe 15 times. So the other 85 are going to cover the losses and then generate more profits for us on top of that.
Right.
So we're looking for that really aggressive entry from the big money. And once we follow that, if we stick to that formula, it's just a high probability trade. And if we think about it, this is one of my big problems with traders is that they kind of lose common sense and like just step back and think about what's going on. These hedge funds, they take money from clients, they put it into the market, and their job is to generate a return for their clients. They don't put a ton of money into the market to lose money. And that it's common sense, right? Everyone right now is going, well, duh, of course. These big traders, they can lose money, and they do from time to time, but they don't often. So when we stick to the right pattern for the flow, that's one of those trades where we see this is one of those big money traders. And we're not talking, if you have a $25,000 account and you see a $400,000 trade, you're going, whoa, that's a big trade. It's not. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm talking about traders with hundreds of millions of dollars. If they put $4 million into an expiring options contract, they're not doing that hoping it works out. They have a very specific reason why they would expose $4 million of capital to the marketplace. It's their client's money. So they just don't have a habit of doing that and losing money often. They will. And we've seen some of the best looking flow not work out for us. But in general, the success rate of following the right type of flow, it's going to cover any of those losses. So basically what we're doing is scanning the scanner to find these high probability trades. That's basically aggressive entries from the big money. That's how it boils down to. When we see them open a position aggressively, expose their capital to the markets, that's the type of stuff I'm going to follow.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and one thing too, I'll add to that. Nice coverage of that, Mike. Is where I think Blackbox stands out over some of the other services is because we show all of the flow. Okay. If you look on the screen there that Mike has, he's got the MU sweeper there shows BB, which means below bid. So we're going to show stuff that is not only ask, above ask. We're going to show stuff that's on the bid and below bid, but also in between. If Mike, since you've got that pulled up, do you want to go to yesterday's affirm flow that came in? I can kind of show you what we mean as far as how it shows all of the flow. Yeah, and this is where it comes down to where it comes to reading the flow, not just seeing it, because there are certain services out there that flow will come through and they'll call it bearish because it was a call on the bid or below bid, and that's not necessarily the case. So because you have to be able to read it to be able to know that. So it was February 18th, 120s is what we're looking for, Mike.
Yeah, I got that pulled up.
Okay, thank you. So there we go. So there we see all of this flow that came in. Was that yesterday? This may have been today. I don't remember now, but it was yesterday. Okay. So we can see how that flow came in, and this is the type of flow that Mike was talking about, stuff that stands out, okay? That $10,000, $20,000, that doesn't mean much to us. But when we start seeing flow come in all within, several minutes of each other, we're talking $500,000, $750,000, almost over 800,000, again, over 800,000, millions of dollars, then they finish it up with a big old block on the end of over $2 million. That's the type of flow that we're looking for. Now, many of us got into that yesterday and look at the gap up that we got overnight and made some pretty gross gains on that thing this morning, and even bigger if you held on for later in the day. But that's just one example of that big old block there that came in between. See, there's no A or no B after that 16.2, which means they paid $16.20 per contract. Okay. That means it came in the middle. Right, so there was a bid and there's an ask, and this got filled in between. We're showing you that right there because it doesn't have the A or the B on it.
Got you. We lost your stream for a second there, Mike.
Yeah, Discord just cut out for me, but it looks like it's back. So let me get that screen back up for you in a sec.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, that makes sense. And I find it super interesting trying to figure out whether call flow is bullish or bearish, and if they're opening or closing positions.
Yeah, let's go to yesterday's D-Dog.
That was a good one too.
That was February 18th, 175s. This is actually the one I meant to have you pull up just a minute ago, and I forgot. I said affirm, I meant D-Dog. Okay. So there we see, when I talk about we show all the flow, you see how that first sweep came in at $12.40 some cents. It's at the ask. Followed by 3 in a row that were on the bid. So there are a lot of services out there that will call that bearish flow because they think a call a call on the bid would be a closing position, which would be bearish.
Right.
But that's not the case. If we looked at the timestamps of these, the timestamps on those all happened. All 4 of these transactions happened within, I think, 45 seconds. So there's no way someone's putting $800,000 of money into work and they're closing it out within 3 to 5 seconds. What's happened here is as they buy this, the underlying price of the stock was starting to move up because of these options being bought. Well, when that happens, when all of a sudden a stock price starts going crazy, the market makers need to do something, right? So what they do is they widen the spread to kind of slow the action down just a bit. And when they widen that spread, this person got filled on the bid, even though they're buying. Those are opening positions. So that's one way that Blackbox stocks really stands out, is because we looked at this, we saw it, an actual human being is reading it and saying, okay, we see that it's on the bid, but we realize because of the timestamps, that is the same buyer, buy, all 4 of those, and they just got filled on the bid. So that's why we pushed it out as a bullish flow play.
Right. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, some of the other scanners out there will actually label that as something you should not touch. And my argument would be I know how to read the flow differently. We don't rely on the algorithm to show us what's a buy or a sell. We kind of look at it and interpret it based on how we know to interpret the flow. And if you look at this, the spot price, the underlying was trading at 158 when they bought these yesterday. And right now it's at 177.
Right.
So from 158 to 177 in an options contract, the leverage of an options contract, that's going to pay huge. And for me, what I love about using this kind of information, I would never have D-Dog on a watch list. I would never have AFRM on a watch list. Half the stuff I trade from flow is a ticker I wasn't even going to be looking at the start of the day. But the flow told me to get into that trade. So again, these are high probability trades that I would not have been in if I didn't have the scanner telling me, hey, look, someone just dropped $1.4 million into D-Dog. I got to look at that and say, oh, crap, they're doing that for a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but I see what they're actually doing, and I got to follow it. And when you do that repeatedly, just the numbers on some of these trades is astonishing. Like, I do the statistics on them, and I knew how good flow was, but until I saw it day after day after day in front of my face on paper, even I was looking back on it going, holy crap, these things actually do even better than I thought. And I knew they did good already. So who was going to trade D-Dog yesterday? Maybe there was news on it. I don't even know the news on it because I don't pay attention to news. To me, news is noise. So I see flow like this, I'm going to get into a trade for a ticker that it wasn't on a watch list. I don't know what was going on with it. If there's news or not, I still don't know because I just don't pay attention to that. I don't trade that way. I follow someone who just put $1.4 million into an options contract. That's the type of stuff that I do. And trades like this, it blows your minds when you see the end results of it time after time.
Got you. I've seen a question in chat here. Chat's also saying that Apple, I guess, is ripping right now. Not sure if we can pull it.
Yeah, we saw $8+ million of Apple today in a single trade. Normally, I won't watch the flow on Apple. It's not going to stand out enough to capture my attention. Let me pull it up here real quick.
Yeah, Apple's one of those tickers that I'm the same way. I don't typically watch the flow, but when we get alert after alert after alert after alert after alert in the first 15 to 20 minutes of the day for Apple. Yeah,
Right.
you better pay attention to it. And then later in the day, we got over $8 million sweep into next year's 200s, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is an above the ask sweep for $8 million. And like I said, normally I won't follow flow on Apple, Facebook, Tesla. I'll trade these names all day long, but not from the flow. They're so heavily traded that you're not going to see stuff that stands out for the most part. Like if you watch Apple contracts on the pull up an options chain for any contract, you're going to see so many of those contracts trading that it's just typically not going to see something that stands out. This above the ask sweep for $8 million for Apple, even Apple, that stands out. This is something that you're basically, if you're a flow trader, you're going to follow this every single time. Now, the only time you wouldn't follow flow, this is a $250 contract. Most people can handle that. But let's say it was $9 or $15. If you have, let's say, a $2,000 account and high probability flow for $800 comes out, even though it's high probability, you still don't want to put that into your account, just for general risk management purposes. A trade like this, a $250 contract for $8 million that goes out for 4 months, every single time flow like that comes in, I'm going to be in that with zero hesitation, no questions asked. So that stands out. And again, if we expand on the chart a little bit, this is what Apple's doing after hours. It's up even further. So
That's crazy.
they were trading this at 171. It's 172.86 now. Little spike after hours. And again, this isn't a contract I would normally have traded. It goes out to March, which I like that. There's plenty of time on it. $200 contract or $200 strike. It's trading at 171. It's a little bit out of the money. If I was going out to March, I probably would go something a little closer to the money personally.
Gotcha.
But when I see someone drop $8 million into this contract, my thought process, it stops immediately. I don't care what they're thinking. I don't care why they're going to do it. They just exposed $8 million.
Right. That's huge.
Yeah, so whatever their reasoning was for doing it, I don't have to know. What I do know for a fact is that they took $8 million of their client's money, or their own money. This could be just one rich person that throws $8 million into it. Who knows? But what I know for a fact is that someone executed, and I'm on the West Coast time, so these times won't match up with everyone's time frame. So 8:43 and 11 seconds in the morning, someone executed on $8 million of this contract. And if you ask yourself, well, why? What are they doing? What do they think is going to happen? What's going to be announced? My answer is, who cares? They just exposed $8 million of their money.
Right.
They're not doing that hoping it works out. They're doing that for a specific reason. We'll never know the reason. A lot of times with flow, we'll see something, we go, I should follow that, but that's a little weird to me. I don't know what's going on. Then 2 days later, a headline comes out, the stock spikes, and we're like, oh, they knew something was going on. And a lot of people say, the market's rigged. These guys have information that we don't. Of course.
Yeah, that's it.
Of course they do.
Right.
But who cares?
Why not take advantage of it?
If I see what they just did with that information and watching the options marketplace, if I see someone puts $8 million into Apple for March, I don't really care why they did it. They're exposing $8 million of their money. We're going to find out why they did it at some point between now and March.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Really cool to see that too, and see the the gap up after hours is like a direct sort of hit off that. There are a couple questions in chat. What we covered this a little bit. Swan covered a bit of it a little bit ago, but how would Blackbox compare/compete to other services like Flow Algo?
Yeah, so between as we mentioned earlier, because we show all of the flow, that's one thing.
Right.
Okay. But that's just part of the equation in my point of view. We've also got, I don't know how many moderators we have now, Mike, 10, 11?
I think even more than that.
I think probably more than that. We have live traders on all day long with Discord. If you ask questions, we've got someone there to assist you. We're doing education nonstop through the week. So we have the morning webinars every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do evening classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Mike does an awesome class every Thursday evening about understanding options flow. I mean, I don't know of the other platforms out there that are also teaching you and giving you the education that you need to not only be able to use option flow, but to use it correctly. Because that's the danger is there's a lot of services out there that provide it to you. Yeah, they might be cheaper. Yeah, you might be able to even get it for free. But if you don't know what you're doing with it, then, or if you're only getting part of it, it's actually a disservice.
Right.
So because of that, because of the education, the community, and then also the platform, that's what really sets us apart from the other services out there.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Super involved, super helpful. Um, we got one more question from chat. That was from Big Cap'n, by the way. Thank you, Big Cap'n. This one is from Huey. Just got here, but how do people differentiate selling versus buying on flow? If you can't know, then do you just look for confirmations? We covered that a little bit. Anything you guys want to add to that?
It basically comes down to the spread. So if you look at these here where it says AA and A, that's telling me that this filled above the ask and on the ask. This one is blank. In this case, we know those are going to be buys, even though it's not selling us ask side or bid side. So if we see a bunch of ask side activity like this, we know these are opening contracts because it's 2.343 right here, AA. You're not closing a contract and getting filled above the ask. And that's, again, one of those things where we have to use common sense and step back and say, let's say the spread is $1 by $1.20 and you get filled at $1.30. Is there any way that's a closing position? The spread's $1 by $1.20, you filled at $1.30. So logically speaking, there's no way that's a closing position. You're not going to get filled at $1.30 closing when the spread's $1 by $1.20. So if you're filling above the ask, that's an opening transaction. Now there are exceptions to that, but the rule and the exceptions are going to happen much less frequently than the rules. So if we see a bunch of bid side activity, that it's a little shady because there are exceptions to that. But generally speaking, if we see a bunch of bid side activity, that's going to tell us they're closing positions. There is an exception there because you can do a sell to open. So that goes into more of you have to understand the data itself and how to interpret it. But we know if these are buys or sells, probably I'd say 90% of the time. And for flow that comes in that doesn't have a clear buy or sell feel to it, it's not something we would follow. Okay. So typically the stuff that we're going to follow is very just blatantly obvious. Holy crap, they just opened this position huge. So the stuff that we can't tell, it's just insignificant in the first place. The stuff that we can tell, it's going to be because of this information here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, one thing we tell everybody is we want the flow to tell us the story. And just like if you're reading a book, how would you like it if the author made you do your own introduction or write your own conclusion? None of us would read that book. The flow is the same way. We want the flow to tell us the full story. We want it to see it from start to end and be able to say, okay, that's definitely good flow that we're going to follow. If you have members all the time that ask, is this good flow or is this good flow? Or we'll post some flow out on social media and get responses back and say, is this good flow? Or we'll post it as bullish and they'll go, no, it's bearish. Look, it's on the bid. And then we got to go explain to them, no, it's the same buyer and all that. If the flow doesn't tell you the story, then just move on and wait. Because if you are trying to form your own opinion and trying to twist the flow to fit your idea of what that flow is going to do, it's going to fail.
Gotcha. So that kind of transitions into my next question here. Let's say, something looks really good. You can't ignore it. You get into that position. It's kind of a two-part question. If it starts to go the other way on you, when do you like to cut your losses? What are your rules that you guys like to apply to that? And on the opposite side, if it starts to go your way and you're up pretty good on the trade, when do you guys like to take profits?
This is my favorite question because we get this all the time.
Awesome. Good.
So here's the thing. Even if you're a master at flow and you understand exactly what trades to get in, you still need proper trade management. So if you don't understand risk management, we've got people into trades that went 100 or 200% gains and they actually exited for a loss. Right. So you need proper position sizing. That's one of the keys. So if you have proper position sizing and risk management, here's my personal rule. It's probably not right for everyone. The thing is, a lot of people use flow and don't really understand it. Like they might understand bid ask, they might understand this is an aggressive entry from the big money, so I'm going to follow it, but they don't understand the full concept of what it is that we're actually doing. So my personal rule, if it's the right flow to follow, I have a 0 stop loss. And if it goes to 0, it goes to 0. I'm position size, so if it does that, it's not going to hurt me. But that has never happened. And the reason for that, so my exit rules, if I follow someone into a trade based on flow, it can be down 40%, 60%, whatever it's down. As long as the big money stays in that trade, I do not cut the trade for a loss. I don't care how bad it looks. And we've seen a lot of these go down 40, 50, 60% and then go on to make triple digit gains. If you're not position sized properly, you get shaken out. Down 30%. Oh, I can't hang in this one. Down 40%. Oh my God, please stop. Down 50%. I've got to cut it. And then it goes down 55%. You're going, oh, sweet. I knew I made the right decision. 2 weeks later, it's up 100% and you're pissed.
Right.
So the thing is, if the big money exposes their capital to this trade, if it's down 30, 40, 50% and they're not closing out the trade, they still believe in the trade. So for me personally, I have this rule that says if the trade is red, as long as the big money stays in it, I stay in it with them. That has only hurt me 4 times in the history of my doing this. 4 times that rule hurt me.
Wow.
Out of, I don't know how many hundreds of trades I've taken from flow at this point. So I actually just started last month. I said I just started a small account for flow swing trades. As of, it was, what is it, 2 days ago or even yesterday. So in that account, I haven't taken any losses on any of the trades. So I've had it open since November 1st. I've had, I think, 14 or 15, actually at this point it might be 16 trades, all profitable. The open trades that I have, I had 7 that were all red. And as of today, I only have 4 left because I closed 3 for profit. And there's 4 left that are red. I'm still in those with 0 concerns whatsoever because the big money that I followed into those trades is still in them. So we've had people that have taken a 30 or 40, 50% loss and said, you know what, that's my stop loss, I've got to cut it. But I look at the flow and say, you know what, the big money who I followed into this trade is still in the trade, which means they still believe in it. Now, it's real-time scanner, so I don't know, 6 minutes from now they might close it. I don't know that. But right now, if I look at the flow, they're still in these trades. I stay in it with them regardless of how bad it looks. And almost every time that actually those trades turn around and make a profit. So you have to be position size so you can take that drawdown and not get shaken out. And as far as on the plus side, once I'm in the trade, it's my trade. It's not the big money's trade. So if the trade is red, I look at them to see if they still have confidence to stay in it, and then I'll stay in it. If the trade is green, it's not their trade anymore. It's mine because this is my personal money. Right. So what they do with their trade, I don't care because that doesn't affect my ability to pay bills and live my lifestyle and whatever, right? So once my money is in there, it's my trade to manage. So for me on the plus side, when things are green, I'm going to go to the charts at that point. So I don't look at charts to get into these trades. I get into the trade 100% based on flow. I don't look at charts. I don't look at the Greeks. I don't look at the IV. I don't look at news. I don't look at anything. It's just 100% based on flow. Once I'm in the trade, then I'm going to pull up a chart and plot my support and resistance. I'm heavy on technical analysis. I love technical analysis. So once I'm in the trade, I'm going to plot my lines. I'm going to see what it looks like and then watch the price action as it approaches different levels to see where I might get out of the trade.
Gotcha. That's a really, really great answer. Anything you want to add to that, Swan?
No, I mean, Mike covered it very, very well. I follow the same procedures as he does as far as getting in. And if it goes red, I watch open interest. That's, a lot of people may be wondering, how do we know if they got out? How do we know if the big money got out? Well, for one thing, we'll typically see it in the flow. They'll come through as those white lines because they're slowly selling off their position. They'll come through on the bid or below bid. So if you're in those contracts, you kind of do a search throughout the day and see if you see any of them closing those positions out. But then we also check open interest at the end of the day, right? So that if there's 30,000 contracts in OI tonight, and then tomorrow morning we look and there's only 15,000, that means they sold half their position. And then if we follow them in, then we will typically follow them out, especially if they're red. Now, what sometimes you'll see, and an example of this was Nuon. NUAN. Mike doesn't want me to bring this one up, I know, but NUAN back in the spring, they came in with heavy flow on that ticker, heavy flow. And the next day the thing dropped. The stock price just dropped, I think 10%. And they came in and bought more that day. Next day, same thing. Stock drops another $2 or $3. They came in and bought more. Every time it dropped, they added to the position. And we're like, man, something's going on with this ticker, because it's just not a ticker we see much activity in.
Right.
And then a week or two later, news comes out, Microsoft was buying them out, and that thing shot right back up. And those, contracts went for, I don't know, 8 or 900%.
Wow.
But that's where we pay attention to. If we get into a contract and follow that big money in, then we're going to be watching that contract specifically and saying, okay, what are they doing with it now? Are they buying more? Are they closing out? Or are they just holding? And we tend to mirror or mimic what they're doing. Now, on the upside, what I will do is I will scale out. Okay, so if I bought 10 contracts, when I feel I'm happy with a nice profit, I'll sell half of them. And then I'll sell another 25% of them once it bumps up a little bit more. Then that last 25% I let ride and keep pushing a stop loss up. So that way, if it does run for several days or if it runs for several weeks and I've got plenty of time on that contract, then those last 25% of my position continues to get the maximum gain possible. And if I get stopped out, I get stopped out, but at least I keep bumping it up as the contract goes up.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes perfect sense. I really like that with the stop loss and kind of lifting it up like a ladder following you behind. I'm seeing in chat that another example of being down and then the contracts rip up is HLT recently, I guess, did that. It was down 50% and was up 40% recently off flow. That was a Salty Rooster posted that. But
yeah, HLT was a good one. MAR, all of those hotels, they took a big hit because of the variant. And then this week they turned around and reached for the sky.
Yeah, no, for sure. We did have a question earlier from, let me just get the name here, The Real Great River, asking about your watch list, Sean. What goes into building your watch list, and what's kind of your process there? Or Swan, sorry.
Yeah, so no worries, 100. I knew who you're talking about. I actually get called Sean all the time from in the Blackbox group chat, so I'm used to it.
Okay, that's my mistake. My bad.
No, it happens. So it is a process. It takes me a couple hours in the evening to go through several charts. I'm going through probably 75 to 100 charts, just flipping through them. I started putting the watch list out early. When I first started doing it, I started putting it out in the evening. And then I would find in the morning, we'd have a big gap up or a big gap down. And then my lines were no longer significant. And so I started doing it now in the morning. So in the evening, I put together in my mind, just a list of tickers that I want to watch in the morning. And then the morning, I actually drill down and start finding those support and resistance lines that I put on the chart and put out there for everybody to follow. So it's a combination. I know I get to ask all the time, what's the secret sauce? There's not too much secret to it. I mean, you guys could probably figure it out if you looked hard enough. I use a combination of EMAs on the hourly time frame. And I also use some fib levels and volume profile. Volume profile is probably the one that most people don't look at enough. So you get that volume shelf, you see where all the volume is, and then you'll see a shelf where it falls off to the next volume level. That's where you can kind of find some moves, because if the ticker loses that first volume shelf, there's a good chance it's going to come down to the next one. So you get those crevices in the volume profile. That's one that I like to use. And then as far as finding tickers, I'll use the flow from today. So I'll go through and do some research tonight on, I'll run the filters the way I want them, and I'll find, okay, what tickers got some really big flow that didn't really make much of a move. And if they haven't made their move yet, then I'm going to put them on my watch list, because the move is probably still coming. So I'll take a look at that, then look at those EMAs. I love the 8, the 21, the 34, the 89, the 200, and the 377. Those are my EMAs that I look at. For those taking notes, that was the 8, the 21, the 34, the 89, the 200, and the 377.
Awesome. Thank you for that. We have another question chat. This is more of your thoughts sort of question on DISCA flow. I guess nearly 300, 500 million in contracts were purchased. Maybe we can kind of take a look at that and see what you guys see.
Yeah, we saw that flow. It got called out live. And I think the price responded to it when it came through. I did not follow it. I was in another trade at the time. DISCA.
Yeah, I'm seeing that it was from June and July, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so looking at it today, there wasn't a whole lot that I see today on it.
Gotcha. I guess they're for 2023 as well, I'm seeing. But other than that, is there anything else that you guys want to add? Maybe for beginners, someone who's just, is going to go buy Blackbox stocks after this education session. Where can beginners start? Anything else that you guys want to add before we wrap things up, heading towards 5 o'clock here?
Yeah, so for beginners, there's a really specific set of things you need to do. First of all, you don't want to be placing trades unless you understand what the data is telling us. Because I've got people that message me and say, hey, this flow trade didn't work out. Can you tell me what went wrong? And I look at it and go, ooh, that is disgusting looking flow. We would never follow that. It's going to be overwhelming at first. I take for granted how flow trading is because I look at information and I don't think about it. I just react to it. But I've been looking at the same screen for 6 years now. So I kind of take for granted how just simplified this whole process is. When you're first starting out, it is going to be confusing. There's a lot of data that we're throwing at you. We do have a chat room. On the screen right now, I've got it set to news, but over here, there's a chat room. I am actually live in that chat room from bell to bell every day. So if you have questions on flow, I'm right there live in the chat room to help you. We have a Discord group where Swan and the other moderators hang out. And like I said, I think there's 10 to 12 of us now. There's a lot of moderators. So you can ask questions before you get into trades. It's beneficial to be on the voice chat to listen into what we're looking at, why we're looking at it, and what we might be looking to trade. We have a list of classes throughout the week, starting with an orientation class, then a stocks and options basics class. We have a new intro to the market class if you're brand new to trading. And then Thursday nights, I do the understanding options flow class. And that's where I cover every little nuance of the flow that we're looking at. So as a new member to Blackbox, you want to be in the main chat over here. You want to be on the voice chat on Discord, and you want to sign up for those classes. If you have all that down and under your belt, you can start getting a feel for what it is that we're doing on a day-to-day basis. Swan does those live seminars Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So the stuff you hear in the orientation class, the stuff you hear in my understanding options class, you're going to see him apply those same things live during the market hours. So what's cool about this is that we all use the data somewhat differently in some aspects, but the core principles of what we're doing, you're not going to hear me teach something on Thursday and then see Swan's live class Friday and watch him do something completely different. So the ones who are doing this full time with good success to it, there's a core basic set of principles that we're following to make this work. And you're going to hear that in the classes, you're going to hear that in the chat, you're going to hear that on the live trading with Swan. So you really need to just dig in, have patience. There's always another trade. I don't care what trades you've missed, there's always another trade. So if you really have patience and understand what it is that we're doing and why we're doing it, you'll be successful. If you look at it for a week and you go, holy crap, I can't figure out what's going on here, I gotta quit, you're not really gonna get anything out of it. It will take a little bit of time to get accustomed to the speed, Some of this is very high paced, very just news comes out, we see flow, we're in the trade, and everyone's like, well, I didn't even figure out what was going on. And you guys are already out of the position. So it's fast paced. You've got to understand what's going on. Give yourself a month of really digging into it and watching what we do on a daily basis. And I promise you guys, it becomes easy. It really does. Flow trading takes all the work out of what trades you should be in. I don't know what ticker, I don't know how much time, how do you pick a strike? The flow tells us all of that. At first, it's going to be overwhelming. But I promise you, if you take the classes and hang out with us in live chat, really put in the effort to understand why we do what we do and the whole, step back and look at it from a broader view. If you understand it all and then you learn the rules to it, it's a phenomenal system. But you have to give yourself time because it will be overwhelming at first.
Yeah, I second that. And the other thing too, I'll add is just the patience. We get too many new subscribers that come in and they just start taking trades left and right. We call it puppy trading. That's an options mafia illustration where you get a new puppy, you put him outside, and the first thing he does, he goes and pees on it a little bit here, then he goes and pees a little over here, then he goes pees a little over here. So we don't want you to become puppy traders. We want you to be able to sit back, takes patience, wait for the correct trade. When you have a small account, it's all about quality, not quantity, right? You want to take the quality trades, and you may go a day, you may go two, you may go a whole week without taking a trade, but that's okay because it's all about quality. It's not about getting 10 contracts or 100 contracts and blowing up your account that quickly. It's all about the quality of the trade. So it takes patience. People think day traders, that's all they do is just sit and buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Well, most of us, that's not the case. We're just sitting back waiting for the right opportunity. We're waiting for the right setup. We're waiting for that right flow to come in. So that's the other side of it is just have to take the patience to be able to wait for it and not jump into anything just because you're bored or thinking, hey, you know what, this looks like it's going to go, when it's just one line of flow that we all have just ignored immediately, and yet somehow you think it's worth following. So it takes patience. And I posted in Discord 100 my link to the registration for the live webinar for tomorrow morning.
Awesome.
If any of your listeners want to join, you can post it in your chat, and they are more than welcome to join me tomorrow morning, and we'll walk through it.
Here's the link, guys. That should be available in the chat now. Feel free to set yourself up there. I think you just need an email and your name, if I'm not mistaken, and you're good to go.
Yeah, all the education that we provide, all the classes, everything's free. So if you're a member, anything that we do after hours, it's all included in the one price. When we do stuff like this, sometimes we put those links out there for other people to join us. It's 100% free. So the only thing you pay for when you join Blackbox is the subscription to the live data. But Swan is dedicated to this. He does that 3 times a week. I do the 1 class a week. Teresa, one of our other educators, does, I think, 3 classes now. All that's included. So we're not trying to make you pay for something and then pay for every little thing along the way. And you guys might hear us say this on social media quite a bit. We don't consider ourselves successful unless everyone in the group is making money. I know how to use Flow. I can go out and use Flow and make money. That doesn't make me a success. What makes me successful is if everyone that listens to me and learns from me and takes the class, whether they take my class or Swans or whatever, if you're in the group and you're making money, that's how we consider ourselves successful. So I firmly believe you won't find a group out there for options trading that's going to take you under their wing and really make sure you understand what you're doing. And when people say, oh man, I did something stupid, I lost so much money today, it actually hurts us.
Right.
It's not my money, but it hurts me to know that someone in our group might have done, maybe they made a mistake, or maybe they didn't understand, or maybe they just took a trade that they didn't get out of when they should have. When someone in our group loses money, it hurts. Because I've been there. Swan has been there. Our best traders in the group have been there. Mm-hmm. Every one of us blew up accounts at one point. So when I see someone that loses money or did something stupid and they're feeling bad about it, it hurts us. So we genuinely want you guys not just, take a trade or two because we took it, but learn why you're doing this. And if you can do this on a day-to-day basis, put money into the market and come out with more than you started with, you're killing it. You're going against people whose job is to take your money away from you. If you can sit in your pajamas in your living room on a $1,000 computer that you bought from Best Buy, and you can go into the market with a $5,000 account and come out at the end of the day with 5,300, you're killing it.
That's crazy.
And then
yeah.
work on whatever you need to work on to go from 300 profit to 1,000 to 10,000 to whatever your expectations or limits are. I'm on a $1,000 computer. That's why I use this example. I'm on a $1,000 computer that I bought from Best Buy, and I click the mouse button in my pajamas day after day, and this is what I do for a living. So if you really put in the time, in the Blackbox group, we are very big on making sure people just get the help that they need. We're not really trying to rip anyone off. We're not trying to deceive anyone. We're going to help you out. So that goes back to what you said about new traders. If you're overwhelmed and frustrated, put in more than 2 or 3 weeks of learning this. We're going to be there to help you out. And we're not successful unless every retail trader on the planet is consistently making money. So we got you guys. Look us up on social. We'll help you out for free. Look us up in the group. If you're in the group, in the chat rooms, we're here to help everyone out. We just want to see everyone succeed.
Amazing. Huge respect for you guys. We all truly, truly appreciate that. I think that's super cool. Chat saying pajama trader gang. And,
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, I truly, truly appreciate you guys coming on. One question that I have is, I think I saw a little sneak preview of this, but are you guys coming out with an app for like iPhone and Android soon?
Yes, the app is in production right now. It's in the programmer's hands, and we hope to release it hopefully very, very soon. But yes, it is in the works.
That's awesome. That'll be next level for sure, especially for
The
those.
next thing, I think the next big push you'll see is because currently we're integrated with TradeStation, where you can trade through your TradeStation account through the Blackbox website platform. The next one is E-Trade, and that should be coming out hopefully very, very soon. Hopefully, the next few weeks we'll be able to push that out. So if you have an E-Trade account, you can actually buy and sell contracts directly from Blackbox.
That is really, really cool. Any chance IBKR is coming? I'm up in Canada, so I don't have access to a lot of these brokers.
I understand. We understand that. I don't think it's not as easy as it sounds to get these guys integrated with us.
No, for sure.
They have to be involved heavily.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But I know, as we keep adding one at a time. So maybe in the future, 100 we'll get them on.
Awesome. I had to ask. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I just want to thank you again for coming on. This was awesome. And just so you know, chat, this will be available in a video form as soon as I click end stream. Okay, and I will tweet that out. And I'm sure these guys will retweet it so that everyone can have a chance to listen in, take some notes, and check out all the great things that Blackbox Stocks has to offer. Okay, thank you, Mike and Swan, for coming out today. I truly, truly appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. And make sure you join Swan tomorrow morning. I'm going to be in there for sure.
Thank you, 100.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I can talk about options all night long, so thank you for the invite to be able to do so.
I knew we wouldn't have a quiet moment if we brought Mike along.
I won't take the mic away from me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, guys. I truly, truly appreciate it. A couple of good guys too, so that always makes it better. So yeah, huge shout out to you guys. Follow these guys out on Twitter. I'll post their links again out on my Twitter so you guys can see it. And yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, and we love what you're doing here, 100. So keep it up.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Have a great night, guys.
Good night.
Thanks, guys.
All right, traders. That was Mr. Swan and Mr. 7-Star Mike. How was that? Was that crazy or what? Are you guys, your minds blown? So, yeah, I'm a part of Blackbox Stocks now as well. I heavily, I suggest you guys look into it, at least give it a try. It's honestly changed my trading. It's a big part of my new strategy. And I think you guys can really benefit from it. The community there is amazing as well. I got nothing bad to say, and some great guys moderating, as you can tell. So let me show you guys their Twitters out on the magical website that we love to put out our every thought on. Here is 7-Star Mike's Twitter. Okay, literally the number 7-Star Mike, Praying Mantis, Blackbox Stocks banner. And then we, of course, have Swan1427, the legendary Black Swan with the red eye. We love to see it. Thank you guys for joining me. Here's Blackbox Stocks as well. And you can reach out to Blackbox Stocks and ask some questions about signing up and different promotions they have going on. So please check that out. I love and appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. This is a lot of fun. If you're new to the stream, I do live day trading sessions when I am off work. And I stream every evening at 8 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys want to see more of my face talking about your stocks, you can join me, in the evenings. And on the weekends, I do more of these interviews as well. So you guys can tune in for that. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Love this community. Thank you for the subs today, the follows, and we'll see you in the next one. 100 out.